All right, let's just jump right in. What if I told you we're standing on the edge of a revolution? One that could make your job, the very concept of a job as we know it, just disappear? Today, we're going to dive deep into how AI is set to completely reshape not just our work, but literally our entire lives.
Okay, this quote right here is the key to everything we're about to talk about. The promise of AI is no interface. So what does that really mean? Well, it's pointing to a future that's, well, beyond apps, beyond clicks, beyond staring at screens all day. It's a world where just your intention, the thought itself, is enough to make things happen.
So I've got a question for you, a big one. What if you never had to work again? And look, I don't just mean your 9-to-5 job. I'm talking about all the other work. You know, the digital busy work, the endless clicking, tapping, and swiping that eats up our days. Seriously, what would you do with all that time back? Just keep that question in the back of your mind as we go through this.
And that brings us to our first huge concept, the end of work. Now, the goal of this AI revolution, at least in the short term, isn't just about making your tasks a little bit easier. No, it's about making the manual parts of your digital life, poof, just disappear entirely. Just think about your phone right now. You want to get a ride? You open the Uber app. Hungry? You open up a food delivery app. Need to fire off an email? You open Gmail. See, it's this whole world of separate apps, all living in their own little boxes. The future we're sprinting towards, it just collapses all of that into one single smart assistant. You don't open apps anymore. You just say what you want and the AI figures out the rest. There's a name for this, and it's called invisible work. The whole idea is that all the complicated stuff that happens behind the scenes, it just becomes totally automated. The AI is the one figuring out the how. You know, which app to use, what button to press, who it needs to talk to. All we have to do is provide the what, just the end goal. That's it. Let's make this super concrete. Imagine just saying this out loud. Issue a $50,000 invoice to Raj, send it to him, and then remind him about it every single day at 9 p.m. until he replies. Think about what that one sentence just did. It triggered a whole chain of events. The AI has to create a document, then it has to send an email, and it has to set up a recurring reminder that only stops when a specific condition is met. This isn't just about saving a few clicks, folks. This is automating an entire business process with a single sentence. Okay, so if all this routine digital work is basically becoming invisible, you've got to be asking, where's the next big opportunity? Where's the gold rush? And that's exactly what this is. It's AI's next gold rush. But here's the twist. It's not just about more automation. It's about what we do with all that free time, focusing on things that are, truly human. So, the first huge opportunity? Hyper-personalized productivity. We're talking about an AI that doesn't just answer a single question and then forget about it. No, this AI understands your entire workflow. It can chain commands together. So it could find a stock price, then ask your broker for advice on it, and then set a reminder for you to follow up. It's that ability to understand context across different steps that's the real game changer. And hey, this super smart AI isn't just for spreadsheets and emails. A massive opportunity is in solving really human problems, like dating. I mean, who here hasn't felt that swipe fatigue? The prediction is that AI is going to end that. Instead of you spending hours filtering through profiles, your personal AI, which, by the way, knows you better than anyone, will just find you one single highly compatible match per week. It'll even handle setting it up and then learn from how it went.
And this leads to a pretty wild idea, right? A world where our AI is literally talking to someone else's AI, and together they figure out, hey, these two humans could be a great match. It sounds a little like science fiction, I know. But if you think about it, it's kind of the logical conclusion of true deep personalization.
All right, so far we've been talking about the digital world, about what happens on our screens. But now we're going to pivot, because the really mind-blowing, society-changing stuff, that happens when this AI intelligence breaks out of the screen and steps into our physical world.
First up is the intersection with robotics. And this is huge, because this is where AI gets a body. I mean, just imagine the lamp in your room sensing your mood and changing its light, or a swarm of drones building a house based on a sketch you made. When the everyday objects around us have a sort of awareness and can work with us, our entire world is going to feel completely different.
But if you think that's big, the next intersection is, well, it's on another level entirely. We're talking about the merger of AI with bioengineering. This is the point where AI stops just moving things around in the physical world and starts rewriting the very code of life itself.
So what does that look like? Well, AI is turbocharging our ability to engineer biology. We're not just talking about treating diseases, we're talking about editing our genes to wipe out something like cancer before it even has a chance to start. But it gets even wilder. AIs are now designing brand new genomic sequences from scratch, opening up possibilities that were, frankly, pure science fiction like 5 minutes ago.
Okay, get ready for this one. The person who's going to live 5,000 years is already born. I know, that sounds completely insane, but here's the logic behind it. If we can use this combination of AI and bioengineering to solve the problem of organ failure, which is pretty much the main reason we die of old age, then suddenly, extreme longevity isn't a fantasy anymore. It's a technical problem to be solved.
So let's just pause and take stock here. Work is being automated. Our biology is becoming hackable, and extreme longevity might be on the table. So, what does society even look like after all that? We're way beyond talking about new iPhones here. We are talking about a fundamental redefinition of the entire human experience.
Well, one of the first things to change might be the internet itself, at least as a social place. There's this idea of a zombie internet coming. Basically, as AI bots get so good that you can't tell them apart from humans, the internet stops being a place for real conversation. It just becomes a layer for consumption because you'll have no idea if you're actually talking to another person or not.
And this might be the most out there idea we'll talk about today. What about a future without money? The thinking goes something like this. If AI can automate the creation of almost everything we need, the only real bottleneck left is energy. So our whole economic system could flip. Instead of cash, maybe everyone just gets a universal energy allocation, a basic right to the power needed for your AIs to provide for you.
Okay, that was a lot. I get it. It's exciting, it's maybe a little bit terrifying, and it's definitely overwhelming. So let's pull back from these huge futuristic ideas and bring it right back down to earth, back to you. What can you do right now to make sure you don't just survive this change, but actually thrive in it?
When you boil it all down, it really comes down to two critical skills. These are the things that are going to separate the people who succeed from everyone else. Number one is high urgency. That's just the drive to act, to build, to adapt, and to do it fast. And number two, and this might be the most important one of all, is prompting skills. Basically, knowing how to talk to an AI.
And that skill actually has a name. It's called prompt engineering. You should think of this as the new basic literacy, like reading and writing. It's not just about typing a question into a box. It's the art and the science of structuring what you want in a way that an AI can perfectly understand and then go execute for you. It really is the new language of creation.
So, how do you get good at it? Well, here's a super simple but really powerful way to think about it. First, state your goal. Those are your do's. Be really clear about what you want. Second, add your constraints. Those are your don'ts. For instance, summarize this article for me, but don't use any technical jargon. And third, and this part is kind of cool, use power words. It sounds a little silly, but telling the AI things like, think hard about this, or act as an expert in finance, genuinely gets you way better, more detailed answers.
And all of this leaves us with one last really important question. AI isn't just a tool anymore. It's a new language. It's a partner in creating things. The next wave of, well, everything is going to be built by the people who become fluent in this language. So the only real question left is, are you ready to speak it?